Good morning, everyone. It's Lonnie. We are in the shed. And before I get started today, I did get a package the other day. I actually have another package too I need to pull out for this video. But but anyways, Anthony over at Pittsburgh sent me this little Commodore joystick. It's actually Commodore branded joystick. I've never seen one. I didn't know they made a joystick. I guess it makes sense that they did. But he sent that to me because he knows I'm a big fan of Commodore. Actually, I've got two Commodore computers up here that one of these days I'm going to set up. At least I threatened to. So, yeah, thanks a bunch, Anthony. I really appreciate it. That is cool, man. I'm going to test it out pretty soon. Okay, let's pull some orders now. Sold a Game Boy Advance. This little guy right here, purple one, for magic number $29.99. That's what I've been selling all these little things for. So $29.99 plus shipping on top. It does have a game in it, and it does work well. Sold a Batgirl, a Play Arts Batgirl. It's sealed and packaged, and it's right here. You know, I thought I was gonna have to look for it. But yeah, this thing right here. Sold this for $69.99 plus shipping on top. Had this a pretty good while, I think. So glad to see that sell. All right, sold one of these models. I think I actually might have sold two models, but I'll pull this one for now. The one I'm pulling right now is a Tirpitz German Battleship model. Sold this for $24.99 plus shipping on top. Okay, I did sell another one. Just found it. Bismarck. Sold a Bismarck model for the same price, $24.99 plus shipping on top. Okay, I'm going to leave it here until I pack it up, but I sold this Space Shuttle by Danbury Mint. I had that listed for a pretty good while for $199.99 plus shipping, and somebody offered $175. Thought that was totally fair, and I think I had about 60 bucks into that thing. So over $100 profit on that one. That's when I bought a large lot of planes and spaceships and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've done really well on that lot. Oh, I didn't realize it, but I sold another one of these. I sold another Bismarck. So wow, I got three of these suckers going out. That's good. $75 in model sales. And yeah, I actually have a pretty good bit of money into these. I paid $12.99 per model. So we're actually not talking about a ton of profit here, but pretty easy. It's only a couple of listings to sell all these things. All right, I'm back here at the mid B shelf, and I sold this thing. This is a Sideshow Collectibles. Running up, I'm gonna have to pack stuff now. Running out of places to put stuff. But yeah, this is a Sideshow Collectibles Black Widow statue. Sold this for $299.99 plus shipping on top. And yeah, I am going to put this in one more outer box. It's definitely well protected. It's got styrofoam and all that stuff. But I'll put one more layer of box over it and then bring her off to UPS. And yeah, the other things are pretty small, so I'll go ahead and grab them. Sold this little Mattel Electronics Football 2 game. Yeah, took the batteries out. Sold this for $24.99 plus shipping on top. This is part of, also part of that video game buy where I got that Game Boy Advance and where I got this other Game Boy Advance, this polar white one. This sold also. So all the ones that I've listed so far have sold. And yes, I did include a game with this one too. $29.99 for this little Game Boy, just like the other ones. Oh, I have something on the other account. One more order on this account though. This Giants hat, vintage, not in the best of shape. You see, it's got some threads missing out of the San Fran part there. It is made in Macaw. Thinking it was made in the United States, but it's not. Anyway, I got I got $19.99 plus shipping on top for that. Okay, I went and grabbed this. This was kind of hard to get to, so I didn't show it. It was under all the board games and stuff. It's been listed a little while. This is a Thomas the Train Tank Engine. Actually, it's just Thomas the Tank Engine, but I put Thomas the Train because I know a lot of people probably mess it up like I do. But yeah, that's what it looks like right there. And also, I included a video demo of Thomas. I'm curious. Come on, load thing. I'm curious what that looks like. I'm on the... All right, guys, I want to show you all this Thomas. And this... Lots of talk. And they... Too much talk, Lonnie.
Now, they may not be working by the time you get it. You can see both trains work really well. No issues. I'm going to turn them off.
That actually looks like fun. So, yeah, that's everything that's going out today. All right, let's do some questions. High Tech Redneck. I like that. What is your other channel? Other channel reselling wise is Garage Flips. Seems kind of funny. That's the bigger of the two channels. But yeah, Garage Flips is a channel. I'll link my own channel. I'll give my own channel a shout out. There'll be a link in the description. Here's a question from Andy Cards and Stuff. Hey, so when you combine shipping, do you have to manually input the tracking number for the other items? If so, would both items be marked as delivered when the package arrives? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it groups them together and just one tracking number will suffice. But if it doesn't, I have had the occasion where I'll have to copy the tracking number. You just go to that shipping screen, add tracking number, and then it marks it as shipped and shows the tracking. And yeah, whenever it's delivered, it'll show delivered. I've never had any problem with that setup at all. All right, here's a good question from Timothy. I have a question. If I buy an eBay store, do they charge me 10% no more? Okay, so if you have an eBay store, you'll get a certain number of listings for free, which means like the insertion cost, which can be like, I think 35 cents if you don't have a store, or you can get like a certain number of free listings a month anyway. So not necessarily a big deal, but your question was the 10%, you still get charged final value fees. However, in some categories, the final value fees when you have a store are quite a bit lower. Let me pull it up. The eBay page here, all right? And this is just the standard fees if you don't have a store. Standard fee for most categories, and then it lists some stuff. 10% final value fee, all right? And then books, DVDs, and movies, music, except records category, 12%. And there is a max fee. Look, the max fee is $7.50. Wow. And then there is a special case for guitars and basses, 3.5%. Really low on those. So that's what you pay if you don't have a store. Have a store, and it's got to be a basic, premium, anchor, or enterprise store, because the fees for the starter store, which is like the $4.99 store a month, it's the same. Those are the same as if you don't have a store. And I'll put links to these two pages in the description. But here are most of the final value fees for most things are 9.15% instead of 10%. So you save almost 1%. So if you sell something that is $100 by having a store, you'll save 85 cents versus not having a store, just on the final value fee. There are some categories that are even better, like camera and photo categories, 6.15%. Okay. Cell phones, 6.15%. Computers, tablets, and networking categories, 6.15%. So selling computers. Look at this. Desktops and all-in-ones, laptops and netbooks, tablets and ebook readers, computer components and parts, drives, monitors, printers, 4% final value fee. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. I think a lot of probably experienced sellers don't even realize this. Consumer electronic categories except well, most consumer electronic categories are 6.15%, except for this stuff here. It's still 9.15. DVDs and movies are still 12%. Very high on that. But there are some cases where in-car technology, GPS and security for cars, 6.15%. Guitars and bass is still 3.5%. Stamps, you get a break, big break, 6.15%. And I think, oh look, video game consoles, this is a big one, 4%. Not the games, not video games, they're at 9.15%, but the consoles themselves, 4%. Also, there's another case, I think, like with currency, or like, coins and paper money, 6.15%. I thought there was like a special rate on like gold and silver and stuff, but maybe not. Anyway, go look at this link right here. Actually, I'm just going to link this one page, because this starter store subscribers thing, this also applies to people that don't even have a store at all. So I hope that helps. Freddie Russell said, hey Lonnie, have you ever thought to buy fragile stickers for the outside of your shipments? I thought about it, and I don't write fragile on fragile boxes. I don't put fragile stickers. I don't say anything about them. I try and pack them to make it, but no, I don't. I don't do anything other than that. As somebody said, that is the one that USPS uses for football practice. So I don't know if that's true. I would love to see, like, run a test sometime. That'd be fun, right? Send the same exact package, packed the same way, go the same route, maybe like over the course of a year, send 50 to the same exact location, going through the same post offices and everything. Put fragile on half, not fragile on the other half, and try and get a number for how many make it based on how you mark the packaging. I wonder if it matters. I don't know. Chuck Webb is asking about how do you handle heating, cooling, moisture control your shed? Okay, so I've actually had a few questions about this. And Louisiana, in the summer, it's very damp. And even parts of the winter, spring and fall, it's damp. And whenever it's like that, I run my air conditioner. Air conditioner pulls water out of the air. So it doesn't like, it's not humid in here. When it's cold, I run the heater. And when it's cold, humidity levels are way low. And the heater actually pulls some of that humidity out of the air too. So for me, just controlling the temperature controls the amount of moisture in the air. So for my purposes, that's all that's necessary. It never feels damp in here, and I have no moisture problems in the shed. Your mileage may vary based in other parts of the country, but that's one thing, is like there's never a time of year where I'm not running either air conditioner or heater all the time. It's getting air conditioned. Mr. 76, was the Batman on bidding or set price? They're talking about a Batman, like a large Batman bust. That was an actual, like, buy it now. I had that on buy it now at $10.99.99 plus shipping. I don't like putting stuff like that up at auction very often, because not that many of those things sell. And if you put it up at auction, you're hoping that you have two people that want it at the same time, and that's a lot of money. I don't think it would have gone much higher than that. I think the best play there is probably buy it now in that case. Question I get a lot, the go-to gamers. I see a lot of your videos and see your shipping price is usually low. How do you manage to ship that Rainbow Rainmate for only $7.71? Okay, all the prices, whenever I show the screenshots, they're from my phone. I use calculated shipping on most things. So the way the calculated shipping works, even when I look at like my sold listings, I mean, unless I'm looking at like the actual invoice, when I look at my sold listings, I look at my own listings, the calculated shipping is going to show as if I sent to myself. So it's going to show the absolute lowest that that shipping could possibly be. Usually the shipping is some amount higher than that, depending on where it's going. I don't remember what it was for that Rainbow Rainmate. Probably $9-10 or something like that, I would imagine. So that's why you see that. And I get that question a lot. I totally understand. But yeah, most of the shipping I pay, that I charge my customers, I'm paying like right at that, because I'm really good at estimating like the weight of the item once it's packed and the size of the item once it's packed. Sometimes I get it wrong, but usually it's dead on. That's why I don't really consider it to be like worth mentioning most times. But yeah, that question comes up. Sharon La Rochelle said, hello Lonnie, I have a question about when you packed a tennis racket to ship. You used 2 different priority mailing boxes. What box is used for calculating cost? I don't understand how this works. Thank you. Okay, so Sharon, whenever I do that, whenever I use 2 different boxes, I typically will use boxes that are not flat rate or like regional boxes or anything like that. I'll just use plain old priority boxes, and I'll use those to like make a bigger box. And that box ships by dimension and weight. So whenever you go to make the label, after you put your box together, you got it all taped up, ready to go, measure all 3 dimensions of your box, length, width, height, and then weigh it. You punch that into eBay or wherever you're printing your postage, and that's how the postage is figured. It's not any kind of flat rate situation or anything like that. So if your total size is like over, I suck at that, I think over 36 inches, length plus width plus height is over 36 inches, I believe, over a cubic foot, then you could be subject, or you will be subject to dimensional weight, which could put you in a much higher cost for shipping. So yeah, I don't use a particular box size for that. You just have to measure it. Brian Games says, hey Lonnie, what camera and mic are you using to record this video? It looks amazing. Thank you. I'm using a GoPro Hero 8. I also have a 7 that I haven't used since I got the 8. Where is the 7? It's right here. And I have a 7. It's real close to the same thing. There's not that huge of a difference. It's just I make so many videos that I thought it was worthwhile. I've pretty much told myself every year when GoPro comes out with the new GoPro, I'm just going to buy it. I'm not even going to look at the specs. I'm just going to buy it. So yeah, I love this camera though. I think the 8 is a little better in pretty much every way over the 7, but it's not that big of a difference. Chris Whiteside asked, aren't you worried selling a high value item and getting scammed where they say you sent them an empty box or they return it to you empty? Yeah, that's a legit, concern or risk of selling on eBay. I've always said if I had the option between selling like one $500 item or 5 $100 items, I'd probably, like the work being about the same, I would probably rather sell 5 $100 items just to spread the risk out over more items. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think to sell online, I think you have to have a high tolerance for risk, and I do. And I think you also have to remember that these occasions where you get scammed, they don't come up that often, thank goodness. They don't. And there are things you could do to protect yourself. The tracking number is a big one, of course. The delivery confirmation and things like that. Empty box scam doesn't happen I had it like one time on like a $15 video game. I've never had it happen on an expensive item, ever. And I've sold quite a few expensive items. Knocking on wood, because I have some that are en route right now that I don't want it to happen to, of course, and it would suck. But yeah, I mean, there is risk involved. That's why it's not for everyone. I've seen too many people that have, tried selling on eBay, they get scammed, and they quit doing it because of that one scam or that one bad situation, the thing broke or whatever it is, and they quit selling. And they're giving up like untold thousands and thousands of dollars of future sales because that one thing just turned them off so bad, which I understand. It takes a certain type of temperament to be an online seller for sure. that's going to be all for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I do want to mention there will be a live stream upcoming, not on my channels, but I'm going to be involved in it. It's going to be on John Cincinnati Picker's channel on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Wednesday, 11 a.m. Central Time on Cincinnati Picker. We're going to be doing, if you've been around for a while, a This Week in Reselling type show live on that channel there. I will post, do a posting on the channel, giving the link and everything. So if y'all are interested in that, hopefully we'll see you there. And I might even make a video before then too. So take care. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.